by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
President Trump is using immigration to bolster Republican turnout for the midterms. I'm Laura Podesta. I'll tell you what he called the caravan of migrants headed toward our country at a campaign rally last night.
And closer to home, 2 men face homicide charges after the murder of 2 people, wounding of a third in a Missoula motel room. Coming up, the story told by one of the accused and how police ultimately identified those suspects.
Good morning to you. It is 6:30 on the dot of Missy O'Malley with Chet Lehman. Matt Elwell will have our forecast in just a moment, but our top story for you now, a new CBS News poll finds that in key battleground districts, 6 in 10 voters say immigration is a very important factor in who they will support on Election Day.
Now, last night, President Trump railed against the caravan in southern Mexico and issued a warning for countries that haven't helped stop the group's advance. CBS's Laura Podesta has the details this morning from New York.
This will be the election of the caravan.
2 weeks before the midterm elections, President Trump is rallying Republican voters by attacking a caravan of migrants in southern Mexico. He called it an assault on the U.S. at a campaign stop in Texas for Senator Ted Cruz last night.
And in that caravan, you have some very bad people. And we can't let that happen to our country.
Earlier in the day, the president threatened to cut aid to Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador for letting the migrants leave. He warned, without evidence, of dangers within the group.
You're going to find MS-13, you're going to find Middle Eastern, you're going to find everything.
The United Nations says more than 7,000 people are traveling north, and that number is expected to rise. But the caravan is still more than 1,000 miles from the U.S. border. If we travel alone, it's dangerous, says this 17-year-old. In a group, we feel safe. So when it started, I joined, and it kept growing. Former President Obama was also on the campaign trail yesterday. Without mentioning President Trump, he slammed Republicans for using immigration to stoke fear.
They exploit some of the history that we have in this country of racial and ethnic and religious divisions.
A caravan earlier this year shrank significantly as it moved through Mexico. Out of 1,200 migrants, only about 200 reached the California border. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Now we're told that at its current pace, the caravan would reach the United States border in about a month and a half. So continue to follow that. 6:32, Matt. Lovely yesterday. Thank you for that.
Bright moon.
Gorgeous this morning. Absolutely beautiful this morning.
Yeah, and I think today's going to be very similar. We're just going to add a little cloud cover, maybe a slight chance of rain as you head
that
later in the
maybe
day.
for a nice sunset tonight then, huh?
Ooh, absolutely.
There we go.
So snap a photo and share it. We'd love to see that right here. Temperatures this morning right around the 30-degree mark. It is a little on the cool side, but not bad. Looks like our temperatures should be back into the low 60s. The evening does bring a chance of a few isolated showers in parts of the area. We do have a cool down on the way. We're going to talk more about the timing of that in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. 6:33 now. We have some breaking news out of Park County. One person killed in a crash early this morning in Park County. That crash reported west of Wilsall on Flathead Creek Road and Highway 86. According to the Montana Highway Patrol, driver failed to navigate a left-hand curve, lost control of the vehicle, causing it to go off the road. Vehicle overturned, driver was ejected. We're told he was not wearing a seatbelt. A passenger did suffer minor injuries.
And we are learning more details surrounding a double murder at the Missoula Motel from last Friday.
2 men are facing homicide charges as police continue to investigate that incident. MTN's Connor McCauley has the latest in the case.
According to court documents, 3 people were shot in room 228 of the Mountain Valley Inn early Friday morning. The victims have been identified as 23-year-old Jason Flink and 31-year-old Megan McLaughlin. A third person, Caleb Williams, however, did survive the attack and was transported to the hospital with unknown injuries. Upon reviewing surveillance footage, police discovered 2 men and 1 woman leaving the hotel in a pickup truck around 1 a.m. Friday. The video showed both males carrying firearms and the female was running. Missoula police arrested one of the male suspects, Preston Rosbach, early Friday morning. In his interview with police, Rosbach said Jonathan Whitworth, an unidentified female, and himself had gone to the Plugs Motel to find drugs. Whitworth was also identified in the video by multiple people interviewed by MPD. In court documents, the 3 entered the motel room with Whitworth asking if anyone had drugs. In the court doc, someone stated that they did not, and the 3 people left.
Rosbach told police that the group then made their way back to their vehicle, but Whitworth turned around and made his way back to the hotel room, where he shot 3 people. Rosebach claims to have not shot anyone and says that he did not have a gun on him at the time of the shooting. But MPD reviewed surveillance footage and has determined that he did have a gun on him, and he will now face homicide charges in district court.
Rosebach is being held in the Missoula County Detention Center on $250,000 bond. Whitworth was arrested Sunday near the Missoula International Airport. He is also facing homicide charges. In Missoula, Connor McCauley, MTN News.
Now, law enforcement was able to apprehend Rosebach and question him late Friday morning, but Whitworth took a little longer, a lot more effort to find. He was finally arrested on Sunday.
And a staff member at the Montana State Prison has been put on leave while an investigation continues into a possible assault at the Deer Lodge facility. The Montana Department of Corrections confirmed to NTM News that there was a report assault involving 2 prison staff members that occurred in the parking lot of the Montana State Prison on Saturday. One staff member was put on administrative leave while the incident is being investigated. No inmates were a part of the incident, and the Department of Corrections provided no further details about the incident.
Local court news: a man and woman charged in June for manufacturing methamphetamine now face further charges for allegedly running another lab, this time at a Four Corners fishing access site. 37-year-old Jessica Coombs and 53-year-old Earl William Jimerson were arrested on Sunday, charged with the operation of a meth lab. In Justice Court, Judge Brian Adams set Jimerson's bail at $200,000, Coombs' bail at $150,000. They are to have no contact with each other, and each must wear a GPS monitoring bracelet, submit to random testing for drugs and alcohol. Next district court trial date for both is set for November 16th.
And the entrance of One Bozeman Health Deaconess Hospital is now closed as construction is underway for a new addition. Entrance 3 will be the temporary main entrance during this construction. The expansion project will add a new patient care tower, plus a new ICU and operating room. Now, the main entrance, the chapel, and spiritual care department will also be redone in this project.
We are so excited to get it kicked off. Our passion is for the health and well-being of our community. We live that mission each and every day, and this project just helps us continue that great care.
Now, this project is estimated to be completed sometime in 2020.
Well, bringing in fall tourism dollars to the state, one of the focuses of a 3-day convention being held in Butte this week. Montana Lodging and Hospitality Association started the event yesterday at the Copper King Hotel and will host discussions and guest speakers about a variety of topics important to the hospitality industry. Much of the event will be about attracting people to Montana to participate in winter activities.
12.5 million people visited the state the last record year, as well as spent over $3.4 billion in our economy, and that's just out-of-state residents. So it's a big benefit to the state of Montana, and we just like to keep seeing that progresses.
By the way, this week's events, which continue until Wednesday, have more than 100 people from the hospitality industry represented from around the Treasure State. So welcome to the area, to all of you.
Very much so. That's very cool. Great story for you now. Tom Morgan was raised in Ennis and spent a lot of his time as a fishing guide. His passion for fly fishing led him to begin a lifelong career as a rod maker.
Now, Tom Morgan has passed away, but his legacy and his rods survive, and they're the focus of this week's Montana Made.
For some, fly fishing is a sport. For others, a passion. Still others, it goes beyond even that. Tom Morgan saw it as a personal endeavor. So much so, he created this.
Wanted to have a small custom rod shop and build rods one-off for each customer and really emphasize the quality of the rods and the relationship with each customer. And that's where Tom Morgan Rodsmiths began. So every single person on that board, we have that personal relationship with, and that's how we start each rod. So
the assignment board says it all. Each is a Tom Morgan rod, but each is as unique as the customer. Tom liked it that way. And the old adage, the customer is always right, is the heart of his legacy.
The shop and how we make rods are maybe different than other people make rods, and maybe some people think it's a little crazy the way we make rods, and we certainly learned that from Tom and his wife Jerry. You know, that's very specific way of making rods, and we like to say, you know, the attention to all the detail in the parts is what creates the sum that's greater than all those individual things when you get to the end of the process.
This rod took 9 months to make, and another 9 to make correctly. You see, it had a flaw in its seal. You might not see it, but Tom did.
You know, Tom was such a stickler to detail, and you know, we have this saying, don't hold on to a mistake just because it took you a long time to make it.
Both men admit a Tom Morgan rod isn't for everyone. Let's face it, you can buy a rod and catch a fish pretty easily. These rods are for the person who sees fishing as something more than just a way to catch a fish.
I don't want to get too woo-woo about the whole thing, but there is kind of a spiritualism or mysticism with some kinds of fly fishing, especially when you progress through, the beginning, intermediate, and advanced stages. You get to this place where you really want to fish where you want to fish, how you want to fish, and maybe with the instrument that's of your choosing that was made specifically for you. And I think that's where we really find that nexus between what we do and what our customers really want.
Tom Morgan died a little more than a year ago before seeing this version of his dream. Matt and Joel strive to assure that he would be proud to have his name on everything that leaves this shop. Thanks to commitment to quality, each rod, from grip to tip, becomes more than just a fly rod. They become extensions of the owners. Tom wouldn't have it any other way.
Now, Tom Morgan's legacy goes beyond just the rods that bear his name. Matt and Joel teach classes in rod making, and that plane you saw in the video stripping the bamboo, designed by Tom. Tom, by the way, was also confined to a wheelchair for much of his life, so he never actually got a chance to cast any of the rods he built.
Wow,
phenomenal,
what a
right?
Story.
Absolutely true. And the way they hold to Tom's legacy down there is just, it's inspiring to say the least.
Wow,
and
what
there's
a story.
not many things I've seen more beautiful than one of those rods.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Thanks to opening up the shop, guys, for letting us in there with our cameras.
How cool. Yeah, you and Matt were like little
kids
in a candy store.
It was a blast. But that commitment to detail, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody hold more true to it than Matt and Joel have, and the crew that work with them there.
From grip to tip.
From grip to tip.
I love that. It is time for a quick break. Great job, Chet.
Thanks.
In just a moment, we do want to share with you MTN News and Montana State University have come together to run a poll on Montana's Senate race. In a moment, we take a look at some of those first findings.
But first, we're going to check in with Nora O'Donnell, see what's coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Good morning, and ahead here on CBS This Morning, Turkey releases new details in the apparent assassination of Jamal Khashoggi, calling his killing savage. We're there as CIA Director Gina Haspel looks into the investigation. And the Museum of Bible admits 5 of its Dead Sea Scroll fragments are fakes. We'll examine the role of forensic science in making sure ancient artifacts are real. We'll see you right at 7.